warm, I'm irritable, it's fucking, my period's just around the corner, I am annoyed. Hey everyone, it's me Catherine, and today I'm here to bring you a spoiler-free review for All Systems Red, the first book in the Murderbot series by Martha Wells, and we are following Murderbot. These are the diaries, as the series title would suggest, of Murderbot. So Murderbot, despite being called Murderbot, is not actually a robot. They're not. It's not human, but it's not actually a robot. It is a construct. It is constructed from both like mechanical and like synthetic. That's what I'm looking for. It's constructed from both synthetic and organic materials. It has skin. It has organs. It also just has like things that you would technically feel are usually part of what we consider a robot, but they're sort of like an amalgamation, a weird like hybrid of the two, but they are a construct, so they're not human. They just have human appearance and organs and thoughts and speech, but they are controlled by modules that the company, the nameless company that has made them, has put into them. And our Murderbot, it has hacked, it tells you straight off from the beginning that it has hacked its governor module, which is what it needs to follow orders. Without that governor module, it does not have to comply with anything that anybody asks of it, regardless of like how higher up, regardless of like hierarchical standing or anything like that. They do not have to obey. Nothing compels them anymore because they've hacked their governor module, and they start off by saying that they could have gone on a murder spree. Like, they don't have to do anything. They could have gone on and killed literally everybody that they're currently working for right now, but it hasn't. Instead, what it's done is it's downloaded as much entertainment as it can, and it watches it. It just spends its spare time, watching like TV serials, like TV dramas, in its spare time, and that's pretty much all it wants to do. It has been hired to do a job. It's a security bot. It's been hired reluctantly by like these humans who are on a research trip, but it has no desire to interact with them, no desire to like form any sort of bond or relationship with them. It just, in its spare time, when it's done what it's been required to do, it hides itself away in its pod and watches a bunch of TV serials until it like, I don't know, shuts down or whatever, till it needs to recharge and things. And it is, despite the fact that it is not a human being, it is a very relatable narrator that we're following, because who hasn't wished to just stay home, not have to work, and just stay home and do exactly the things that you want to do without having to like bother with other people or responsibilities or anything like that? It does the bare minimum, because the bare minimum was put into it. Despite the fact that it is probably still quite expensive to make, it was still made fairly cheaply. Like, the modules that it's been installed with are cheap, low end quality. Like, the education that it has is very bare minimum. Things like that. It has been given the bare minimum for the bare minimum, and it puts in the bare minimum, basically. So we're following Murderbot as it is on this job. It was reluctantly hired by these humans. These humans didn't want to fetch a security bot with them, but it was a requirement to go onto this trip. Like, I think they have to have so many per how many humans. It's like when you go on a school trip and you have to have like one teacher per, like, I think for our school it was like one teacher per 10 kids. If you had more than 10 kids, you had to have more than one like adult or teacher present. So I think it's sort of like that, except not a school trip, a research trip. So it's been reluctantly hired for this job. It does not want to do it, especially since it has no governor module, no working governor module anymore. It definitely does not want to be here. But it does what it needs to, and then it hides away because it doesn't want to be discovered as having a hacked governor. Is it a governor module? I've got it written down here somewhere. Yeah. So it's that sort of relatable, but as we go through this little novella and Murderbot is forced to interact with these humans that it's like, whose job it is to protect, it's sort of against its judgment, against its will, so starts to form bonds with these humans and starts to like develop relations and things that it hadn't done in the past and things that it hasn't been able to do in the past, because it doesn't have this governor module ruling it and like making it separate and other. These humans treat it as more or less as one of them, as another member of their little research team, and it helps them. It could not care. It could continue to not care, but instead, reluctantly, it starts to make decisions based on not itself, but on like others around, and like learns to be. I guess what this is, and I've only read All Systems Red, but this is a book about, I guess, this construct is, I guess, I think how they're described in the story. This construct, it was made for a purpose, and now it's learning to want, to figure out what it wants, like what it wants to be, what sort of things it wants to learn and experience because of the experience that it has with this little group of research humans and the mess that they've, not their fault, but that they've gotten themselves into on this research trip. And it, I guess, learns to care in whatever capacity it has for things other than itself and its TV serials. It still wants to just binge like a load of TV serials, but it learns to put itself out there, I guess. And I suppose overall that's what this, I mean, it's hard in a novella to explore it in depth, like as much as say like a full-length novel could, but I think All Systems Red does a good job of getting you involved in Murderbot and its life and its journey and its experiences. And despite the fact that it's short, we also get a good look, I feel, at the other characters in there, and like a good enough look to feel invested in the outcome of this story and this journey and our Murderbot. So like overall, I really enjoyed this. Overall I really enjoyed this. Like I don't have much in the way of negative things to say about it. Like I really enjoyed the characters, what little bit we do get to see of them all, and I really enjoyed Murderbot as a narrator. Obviously, this isn't a negative, really, this is just an observation. Really, it's just something that makes me laugh every time I see it. But when you get like these sort of like first person narratives in past tense, in like diary entry form, which this is, you still get that sort of nonsensical cut off as if like it's been interrupted. Like, because the interruption is in line with what's currently happening, what's happening in the story that's being told. So it's writing down, you know, what happened. Well, it's not writing, it's logging what's happened, but then it gets cut off because of what happened in the past, and it's sort of like, why is the entry cut off here? And this is not the only story that does it. It happens all of the time, and you have that question like, why were they writing this, and then why is it suddenly cut off? Because what is happening? So it has that sort of nonsensical cut-offs that first-person stories, like especially when they're told in like a diary form, tend to have. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just an observation. I just find them a little bit jarring at times, but mostly they just amuse me. And another note, which is, this is not a negative at all. This is just an observation. I've looked it up briefly, but they use kilos as a measure of distance, which I'm assuming is a shortening of kilometre, and I've looked it up, and apparently this is something that's been that's been a part of sci-fi for like, from like near the beginning. Like they've used clicks and kilos as a measure of distance, and that, as someone who uses, like in the Britain we still like got a weird amalgamate, like a weird hybrid system of both the imperial and the metric, but at least here in the UK, kilos is used as a shorten of kilograms. We just call kilometres kilometres. And obviously in sci-fi things they like shortening, they like new names and things. And I don't know if this is a product of it being American who use the imperial system, and it just seeming like a natural way to shorten kilometres, which it would be a natural way to shorten kilometres if we hadn't already used it for kilograms. So like this, so this isn't a negative thing. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, I'm not saying people shouldn't do it, I'm just saying I'm just saying it's interesting that it's kilos. I just think it's interesting, and if I ever get the time or the energy, I'd like to look more into it. But yeah, so like overall I really enjoyed this. So like it's like this little mini adventure for Murderbot, the first adventure that we get, and its consequences and how it sort of like brings Murderbot out of its shell, out of its metaphorical shell and actual, I guess, literal shell, because it likes to stay in its armour, because its armour is like a shield, and then as it, you know, as we move on, it sort of, you know, gets less. So bringing Murderbot out and like showing it what it could what its life could be, like what is out there waiting for it in the wide world now that it has now that it doesn't have a functioning governor module and it's not bound by anybody. So that's really interesting. And the little cast of characters, like what little we get to see of them, obviously can't go in depth because we don't see loads of them, we just see little and bits, and it's from Medabot's perspective, so it's just how they're perceiving these characters. But from what little we do get, they're a really decent cast of characters, like fairly likeable, fairly like sort of, you know, real feeling. And yeah, just the development of Murderbot through this little short story, I really enjoyed it. And I will definitely, when I get the chance, because I borrowed this from the library, they don't have the rest of them unfortunately, so when I get the chance, if I can get my hands on the next one in the series, I look forward to it. But yeah, so overall, if you're looking for like a short sci-fi read, All Systems Red by Martha Wells, definitely recommend. It's good. So yeah, so that's gonna do it. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. Let me know if you've read All Systems Red and if you've read the rest in the series, or however many there are in this series. Like, let me know your thoughts, obviously spoiler free because I haven't read them, don't spoil for me. But let me know if I should keep reading. I mean, I want to keep reading anyway, but it's always nice to have that, you know, validation, encouragement from other people who've like read it and enjoyed it. And even if you didn't enjoy it, I'd still like to know. I'm still gonna read it. Like, nothing anybody says is going to influence me otherwise. But I'm still going to continue on. But yeah, so that's going to do it. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are, and I will see you in another video very soon. But until then, take care of yourselves. Bye bye!